Emma lived in a small, peaceful village named Willowbrook. Willowbrook was surrounded by green hills, wide fields, and a calm, flowing river. In Willowbrook, everyone knew each other. The air was fresh, the sky was blue, and the days were slow. Most people in the village worked on farms, in small shops, or as fishermen on the river. Life in Willowbrook was simple, but for Emma, it was beginning to feel too small. She had always been curious about the world beyond her village, and each night she lay in bed dreaming of distant places. One evening, as she sat by the river watching the sun set over the hills, she made a decision. "I'm going to see the world," she whispered to herself, her eyes full of determination. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but the excitement outweighed her fears. That night, she packed a small bag. She filled it with a few clothes, a notebook, a pen, and her favorite book, a gift from her grandmother, who had also dreamed of seeing the world but had never left the village. The next morning, she woke up early. The village was still quiet as she walked through the narrow streets, passing the bakery, the little library, and the fountain in the square. She saw old Mr. Jones, the baker, setting out his bread for the day. He smiled at her and asked, "Off on an adventure, Emma?" She nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. "Well, don't forget us little people when you're famous," he said with a wink. Emma laughed, promising she would write and tell everyone about her travels. The road leading out of Willowbrook was long and winding, but Emma felt lighthearted. She walked for hours, taking in the changing scenery, the rolling fields, tall trees, and small animals that scurried by. After several hours, she arrived at a nearby town called Brookside. It was much larger than her village, with busy streets, tall buildings, and people everywhere. She had never seen so many people in one place before. Emma decided to stop at a cafe she noticed on the corner of a bustling street. She pushed open the door and was greeted by the smell of freshly baked bread and warm coffee. Inside, there were people sitting at tables talking, reading, and laughing. It was a lively place, filled with sounds and energy she wasn't used to. She ordered a cup of tea and sat by the window, watching people walk by outside. As she sipped her tea, an elderly woman sitting nearby noticed her and smiled. "You don't look like you're from around here," the woman said kindly. Emma smiled back, explaining that she was from Willowbrook and was traveling to see the world. The woman's eyes sparkled. "How wonderful! I remember when I was young, I wanted to travel too. But somehow, life kept me here," she said with a sigh. Emma felt a connection to the woman, as if she understood her own dream. After finishing her tea, Emma continued exploring the town. She visited the market, where she saw stalls filled with colorful fruits, vegetables, and spices she had never seen before. She bought a small bag of cherries and ate them as she walked, enjoying the sweetness and juiciness of each bite. At the end of the market, she noticed a sign for the train station. Her heart skipped a beat. She had always wanted to ride a train. Emma approached the ticket counter, feeling both excited and a little nervous. "One ticket to the city, please," she said. The ticket seller handed her a ticket, and she clutched it tightly, feeling like she was holding a key to a new world. She found her way to the platform, where a long, sleek train waited. The doors opened, and she stepped inside, finding a seat by the window. As the train began to move, she watched as the town slowly disappeared, replaced by fields, rivers, and distant mountains. The train ride was magical for Emma. She saw the landscape change from open fields to dense forests, and finally, to the city she had dreamed about. Tall buildings rose in the distance, and the sky was filled with the sounds of cars, people, and life.